Hi everyone, it's Andy from Hobby Headquarters. Well, I have today for you guys a brand new build of a brand new kit actually that will be released in about a month's time from now from Tamiya. This is the brand new 2019 Monkey 125 from Tamiya in 1/12 scale. And what I mean by that, a lot of people were coming in my store looking at it and going, oh, that's an old nostalgia bike. And it's designed to look like an old nostalgia bike. But actually, this is Honda's 2019 version of the 1970s Monkey motorcycle. And it's all new stuff. It's got much of the same style and flair that the 70s one did, but with all kinds of new modern electronics and stuff on it. And Tamiya has captured it absolutely perfectly in a 1/12 scale. Now, obviously you can see I built it, and I'll say this at the end of the video because I've already actually recorded the end of the video on this, but this kit right here, and I'm not just saying this, I had more fun building this particular kit than I have in a long time of anything else. I mean, I have fun building all my kits, but this one was something that I was like, I couldn't wait to get back into work, start working on it. In fact, I came in early a couple of days in a row before the store even opened, so I could start working on this. We built the entire thing with nothing but spray cans. Well, one time I did airbrush the engine with a little bit of Alclad, but for the most part, all of it is done with spray cans right off the shelf from Tamiya, including TS34, which is they call it banana yellow, but it's actually a camel yellow in the can. But you'll see in the video is not too long because the kit just falls together. It's an incredible piece, and I'm just going to say this. If you're looking for something that is really fun, a fun subject, and something that you can just really have just a great time with, this is the one right here. So I won't talk anymore. You can get right into the video and see how it goes together. So let's get started. Okay, we're just putting together the frame and the engine. You also notice I've glued on this chrome piece, and then there was a couple other pieces that we needed to paint some colors like black and silver on it there. So this is what that screwdriver's for inside the kit. There's actually quite a few screws inside this. So we're going to get this all the way screwed on. You'll also notice too, I just put a little black around the edge right here because that's where the seat goes, and just want to make sure that there's going to be no yellow showing through there. So we've got 2 screws to put in, one here and one there, and then we can move on to the next step. Okay, I've put together a couple of the pieces that make up the rear fender here, and the reason we did that is so we could paint it all solid gloss black as we went along, because then we're going to install this chrome panel right up on top here, and finally the lights are going to, or the tail light's going to go on here. So I've put together these little pieces, and I've painted the back of the lens of the tail light clear red, and that'll pop right inside there once we get this fully dry. I don't want to put anything together yet. And then these 2 little side lenses will both go on those side. But what we're going to do right now is I've put together the disc brake on the rear wheel, and we've painted all of this silver like it called out. And what I'm going to do now is we're just going to take a little black panel liner from Tamiya and just go over all of this, put it on kind of thick, and then we're going to take another brush. So let's try a wider brush with a little thinner on it now. And you can see it's gonna, might have to put a little extra thinner on. And then we can go ahead and install the rubber tire around the wheel. And we've got our back one already done up now. We've also, you'll notice right here too, there was a couple of parts we put together for the rear swing arm, and we put those parts together and painted it the yellow that'll match the rest of the bike. And as soon as all of this, I like to let this dry from the gloss cans for at least a couple hours. So as soon as I'm sure that we won't leave any fingerprints on this, we'll install all of this stuff together. Okay, now what we have to do is we have to line up all of these pieces and get the chain on like that, and then we can wedge this in. You can see the brake caliper has to fit over the rotor, and then we can slide that right inside there. There it goes, I think. Yeah, there it goes. And then we've got this long black screw right here that we will put all the way through and keep that in together. And we have the back portion now, and then this will slide right in through here, and you can see there's going to be 2 holes here, which we'll put 2 more screws inside. And once we get those on there, we have quite a bit of the back. Now there are some other parts we have to put on here, so I'm not going to attach this right now, but you can see it's coming along pretty nicely and actually pretty easily too. Okay, with the wheel assembly just snapped into place, we attach the clutch assembly and this long screw right here. Get that tightened on, and also there is one other little tiny screw. Luckily these screwdrivers are magnetized, so we can actually pick these up, get that put into place, and then on the other side we can attach the other half, same identical way. Okay, next we're going to assemble up the shocks and with the coil springs on it. And when you first pull the part off the sprue, I'm going to recommend that you go ahead and file off the chrome off the top here, because this portion of the shock gets painted black, which hopefully you can see inside here on the first one that we've done. And then when it comes to the spring, the coil spring, it is a real metal spring. Definitely you want to paint this with Tamiya's primer first, because if not, the TS34 yellow paint does not stick to that metal very well at all and kind of pools off of it. So spray it with a quick coat of primer, then you can go ahead and put this on. The shocks don't work, and it's probably a good thing, because if it started working too much, you'd end up working some parts loose here. So once we get the other one built up, using some more of our micro screws, we'll go ahead and attach the shocks right to the back here. Simple enough. I've also gone ahead and attached the chain guard in the back here as well. So that is all coming along great. And the only other thing we have to put on in this step is the kickstand, which is right here, and it'll get screwed right into the back here. And this will actually work too, just like all the other bikes. So we'll be able to in the up position there. Okay, for the next section, we're going to be assembling the front forks. And there are a whole bunch of little tiny pieces that we need to put together first. Paint first before we put them together. So, and they're very basic colors like black and silver, or in the case of the fork itself, we've got this piece right here, and we've painted up the yellow. I just started putting the chrome effect on here for the shock. I got to do a little bit more touch up on it right there. But you do want to get all these pieces painted obviously in advance, because they all go together and it's kind of a pain to try to paint around. And then we've got this chrome part that comes pre-chrome painted. That is going to literally just snap this into place, and then we can attach all of these. Now, it's a lot of little tedious little fiddly work that I'm going to do off camera, but that gives you a general idea that how you want to do it, with painting the individual parts and then assembling it all later. Okay, you guys can see what the bike is looking like at this portion of the build. Here is our kickstand we just put on as well as both shocks. Now, you saw me a minute ago start to assemble all of the front parts for the shocks. We also did the exact same thing for the front wheel too. I will go ahead and put the weathering on here as well. And it's just a matter of painting up this silver. We've painted and assembled all of the front forks here. And it's just a matter of lining that up, getting the brake caliper on properly. And then there's this long screw that is going to secure all of this together. Just like that. Is a tight fit all the way through. Oh, there it goes. Yep, very tight fit all the way through. It must be some paint that built up in there. And then we'll just go ahead and screw this together. And I'll tighten that up a little bit more in a minute there. And then we can go ahead and attach this. So there's a little peg that fits right inside here. We've also assembled the top portion of this. And that'll go on top there, and then there'll be a big long screw that'll go through the middle of this too and secure it all together. So we have the basic part of the bike already done here. Actually, I'll show it to you. I guess they made these kind of tight to get through, so. And that's just like this. I think I need an extra pair of hands to do this part right here. Oh, there it goes. Snap that in. There we go. So you can see we've got quite a bit of this bike built up now. I'll go ahead and secure the rest of the front fork to the wheel, and then we will move on to making the gas can, which I have glued together already, and I've started the process of sanding the seam out of the middle. We also have one other little portion here that we need to paint body color, and we've also got this chrome part, as well as all of the mufflers that we've built up and painted black and put a flat coat on them, because that's the color they're supposed to be on the bike. The one other thing we need to do is we've got the light, the front light, and it is all ready to go. It's got the clear lens that'll snap right into place here. And then this snaps. I've noticed that's actually something I should point out too on this kit. There's quite a few parts that snap in, that once they snap in, they're in there for good, so you don't have to use glue on it. And so I'll get this all put together properly, and then we'll go ahead and attach it to the front of the bike. Now we can go ahead and attach the already chromed front little lights here for the side. Now I haven't put the lenses on yet, because we're going to put those on last. I don't want to accidentally get anything on any of the clear parts until the very end. And of course we're going to attach the front headlight as well. And now we can go ahead and attach the handlebars. The handlebar portion's already chromed for us, and you just have to go ahead and paint the actual grips, parts like that. And with the handlebars attached, we've cut up a bunch of our little micro tubing here, and there's all these little pins that we just apply it to. And as long as you can see the hole, yep, there it goes. And then you'll be able to plumb the entire bike for all the brake lines and for the clutch, all that kind of stuff. Now there is a diagram inside the instructions, and they have the exact length of all the different ones you need to cut. So as long as you maintain that, and they actually give you quite a bit of tubing too. So if you do mess up, I think there should be enough to go over and do it again. And there is the bike with all of the wires on it. And I have to say, there are a few of them that are quite difficult to get on, including these couple up in the front in here. But with a little patience, you can get them to wrap around. And a little super glue too. At first, I wasn't going to glue them into place. And after they kept popping off, little tiny touch of super glue really goes a long way. Now, the next thing we need to attach is the chrome plated muffler, which we will go ahead and attach right in through here. There's a little micro screw that'll screw this right in through there, and it'll attach down here to the bottom piece, just about like that. So we'll go ahead and screw that on right now. Okay, there is actually a decent amount of decals to apply to this kit. Not a ton, but enough that we want to add some nice detail to it. Now there are two of these type right here. One of them is with the ignition off on the vehicle, and honestly looks kind of boring. So we're putting the one that it's on, but it's going 0 miles an hour. And we also have, as you can see right here, one of the tanks that needs to have the monkey symbol put on there. I've left all of those off purposely because we're going to put all the decals on these separately and then clear coat them, you know, decal them up, clear coat them, seal them all in really well, then attach them to the bike. The other decals are small little decals, like little placards that will go all over it, just, you know, talking about different things. So those are real small. We'll put those directly onto the motorcycle. And when it comes to applying the decals on here, we already have, you can see, a really glossy finish from the paint. I do like to use a little bit of Tamiya's Mark Fit Strong and get that on there. That way, when we get it on there, the decals are going to adhere really well, and it really gets them to stick to it. So we'll get this monkey decal, if I can hold on to this thing, into place. And making sure we get it in just the right spot. And then once, like I said, we'll let that dry, clear coat it a couple of times, and then we'll attach it onto the bike. And the last thing we did on this was we painted, or actually masked first, the yellow with the white bottom to it here. And now there's a bunch of labels that we need to put on, or decals, like warning labels, things like that we're going to get on. There is one more decal which I'm going to do off camera because it's going to be very, very important that we get it exactly right, and it's the stripes right here, and that is going to be the line that separates the white from the yellow. So we want to make sure that's absolutely perfect. So we're going to let these other ones dry for a little bit. We also have to put these chrome plates on the side here, and then put the little wing emblem from Honda on there. And as you can see, we've got the monkey and the little lock on there. We'll put one more coat of Mark Fit on there, and then clear coat all of this. Okay, now all I'm doing is taking a little bit of paint and going over some of the areas that we need to touch up. Like some of the little things like this right down here. This needs to be like a metal color to kind of cover up that screw. Plus any of these other little tiny screws like on the brakes on the other side. Plus we're also painting up like the clutch as well as the brakes. And any other little tiny detail things that we need to do, just little minor things. I'm also going to go ahead, I just test fitted this right now, so this is all ready to get glued into place, and we're just going to use super glue to attach that. And then we also have the fuel tank ready to go, and that'll drop right in on this round lip onto this piece and then rest on the back here. So a little super glue on that will hold it all into place. So we're also just putting in the last couple of little bit of decals, and you can see hopefully the Honda symbol in here. There was another group of decals, little placards like this right into there. So that's just the main part of it. So we just got a few more minutes worth of assembly, and then we'll be ready to show you the final product. Well, here we go, guys. Here is our completed model. And you guys obviously know building models is kind of my job in life. I have a hobby store as well as a YouTube channel. But I have to say, without a doubt, this is probably the most fun I've had building a model in a long, long time. For a couple reasons. First of all, the fit on everything was just incredible. It didn't fight me one bit of the way. Everything fit exactly the way the instructions said. We were able to do most of the work with spray cans, as you could see throughout the video. You know, just a couple of basic colors, whether it be the yellow, the black. The chrome work on the bike is just absolutely incredible. And it was just like fun all the way around putting this together. Just had a really good time doing it. And to me, has really outdone themselves with obviously with the fit, and all their motorcycles are really that way. If you guys watched me build the Ducati about a year and a half ago, kind of fell in love with Tamiya motorcycles and want to build more. It's just finding time. But when this came out, and because of nostalgia reasons, I was just chomping at the bit to get at this kit. Now, from what I understand, this kit will be due out in the United States in May. It'll have a retail of $34, so you know, expect them to find them in the 20s. And I'm just going to say it, I would definitely, if you're just looking for a fun project, I would definitely recommend this bike. This is just a great build all the way around. Now, I want to thank you guys, obviously, always for watching our videos, and I just want to keep you up on things that if you're interested, we have an Instagram page now. The Instagram, you can go on there and like it and follow us on Instagram, and what you get by that is you get to find out what the new videos that are coming out in the near future. And what I'll do is you'll take photos and stuff of what I'm working on, give everybody kind of a sneak peek on there. Also, many of you may know we have a pretty popular Facebook modeling site. We have the Andy's Hobby Headquarters one, which you just go on there and I just talk about the new stuff. But the Mediocre Modeler site is another site that I have, and that is where I get to see all of your guys' work. We have about 17,000 plus people on there now, and you can go on there and share your modeling, and it's a safe place to go on and not have to worry about anyone, you know, criticizing or knocking you down. We've got a great group of moderators on there that keep things in check, and just to make it a fun hobby, which is what it is. And that's the biggest thing I preach, you guys know, is you got to be having fun in this, and if you're having fun, it's the best hobby around. So once again, I want to thank you guys as always for watching, and please stay tuned because we have many more videos coming.